Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today we're going to go over an exercise that I've used, and almost everybody I know that kind of does characters or monsters or any kind of design does. And that's going to be going over different shape exercises. This one might be a little bit boring for some people. I understand. I totally understand that it might seem boring, but it'll also kind of, what this exercise does, it kind of like makes you see better in general, like where you're talking about composition of how characters are made up. So just to give you a quick example, when you look at, let me think of like simplistic characters. Think of SpongeBob. SpongeBob is literally a square, right? Square, but his shoes go down there, and he has like a kind of balls at the end of his feet. You know, all that stuff is not, accidental. That stuff's like by design. By that, like when you look at Squidward, for example, I'm just using very simplistic characters. If you look at Squidward's head, it's a circle. He's got this giant nose at the front of it, right? And then, kind of to contrast that big head, he has a very skinny body. You know, that's also, they designed those characters starting with the shapes. First, and then kind of fleshing out that character. So there's a shape exercise that I recommend everybody do. And it's literally, it's kind of ridiculous. You literally just start drawing shapes and trying to find attractive forms, and you're kind of building your intuition by doing that. What you could do is you could break down real life characters, and I might do a video on breaking down already designed characters. And I would use something like a brush pen, to kind of like make it quick. But if you look at concept artists, they do that as well with silhouettes. And what I end up doing, and you can use this for anything, is I end up, well actually that's kind of bland. Let me use just a straight up like Sharpie. I'm going to use a straight up Sharpie just to do this real quick, so just to kind of, not real quick, but just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Hopefully you can see. And I recommend a Sharpie, it's pretty quick. So I have a square here. It's much easier to do it on computer. And I have a circle attached to that. Maybe like a circular form. I'm going to build this shape to make it as attractive as I possibly can. So what is that right there? Once that shape is it's okay. You know what I mean? It's kind of a circular. It's a circular shape next to a square one. For example, let me give you, that's a decent design. Design is obviously somewhat subjective, but there are certain things that you try to avoid. For example, something like this. If that's a singular form, see, if that's a singular form, these are two, this shapes are too similar in size, so this is a competing shape to that one. So you want to make one much bigger than the other one, like here. This box is much bigger. It could be like a semi-truck, it could be something like a bug, anything of that sort. So what I encourage you to do is to create shapes that you find attractive. And literally just start looking around. Like I said, you could break stuff down. Maybe the next video will be about breaking down already existing characters. Another thing, for example, let me give an example about design. Look at Goku's hair. Look at any anime's character's spiky hair. The way that those spikes kind of curl in, and kind of the kind of the proportion of each spike to the other, and how they're in a row. And that's not on accident. Those were designed. Everything is design, and design is. I've seen people who don't draw that well but have amazing design, and it looks better than a guy who draws well sometimes. Somebody to look at who has amazing design would be Creature Box. That guy has amazing design. He's on like Instagram, Creature Box. That guy's got such good design. I idolize that guy. That guy's really cool. When it comes to design, I really idolize it. Things of that sort. And I would literally, like I said, start drawing anything. That looks alright, but a lot of it is avoiding completely repetitive shapes as well. But if you start doing this, just start drawing stuff and you'll be like, that looks weird, or that looks weird. You'll start to get an eye for it. You'll start to get practice for it. Like, that looks weird. I don't know why that looks strange. That looks wrong too. This is something I do to warm up before I do kind of anything, to be honest. If I'm going to work with large masses, like painting or something like that, I will do this just to figure out what looks balanced, what looks attractive, you know what I mean? To kind of get my eye on the road there. What looks broken. Maybe it could be like a key of some kind. You also use this, and this is just drawing silhouettes, you also use this exercise for drawing characters. So let me show you the character, the one. I was going to put that in the video, but I'll show you the character one. You usually go over the proportions of a character, like how do you want this character. So it could be skinny with a giant backpack, maybe. I've heard a character is only as good as a silhouette. I've heard that before. Head's maybe too big. Maybe he needs some kind of shoe here. Is that going to make it better or worse? Might make it worse. Would it ground it more? Would it not balance it? That's just a start. I'll have a whole video on character silhouette. That's a totally different thing on its own. So try this and tell me what you think. This is a real exercise. This is an exercise a lot of people practice. And this is how you kind of build intuition for design. You're like, what is that? Does that look good? No. No. You start building intuition. Design's one of those things that, like I said, is very hard to describe it. Like I said, everybody's got ideas, and design is really based, very similar to art. I mean, it is part of art, based on principles and not rules. Meaning, principles are things that say this works and has worked for any given time. You look at someone's design and you're like, wow, that looks good. I should check it out. And then a rule would be something that says this has to be done this way. But these are not rules; these are principles. A lot of it has to do with like big to small ratio. But like I said, right now I'm only working with silhouette. Like, see, that looks too flat up here. So that's pretty much it. Just create shapes and start playing with their proportion. And I know it seems, like I said, it seems crazy. It seems like basic, like duh. But try this. Really, try this for a while. Try this for like half an hour. And you'll find that you'll come up with some really strange shapes that you can maybe turn to a spaceship. You can make armor. You can make a gun out of it. You just start messing with shapes. Like some of the best designers do that to warm up. Just start playing with shapes. And like I said, I kind of encourage you to do it with a marker because it's quicker. Or you can do it on computer if you have Photoshop. I would encourage you to do it on computer. So, anyways, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching. That's a little exercise for you today. Try this out. Really, try this out. Please try it out and tell me what you think about it. And I will talk to you next time.